What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode. And we are here for the Singapore Grand Prix, round number 15, or no, round number 14 of the season. And getting towards the end of the season now, pretty much in season 4 of career mode. And going through these episodes pretty damn quickly, one a day, really trying to stick with it and trying to get this season done and dusted. And right now, going to this race weekend, obviously feeling pretty good after the last race in Monza, which obviously wasn't ideal, but it definitely wasn't the worst. Raikkonen obviously got a few points back on us, but we are still looking pretty good in the championship going into this race. And I'm hoping they'll capitalise on that benefit and try and gain a few more extra points this weekend, and try and get back on form and also get back on top of the situation, because obviously in Spa also 2 races ago we crashed out. So very much still trying to recover from a bit of a tricky situation at the moment, but the car's performing well, and overall it does suit this track actually better than what I expected. It doesn't suit it great, similar to Monaco, where I struggled at Monaco. The car does struggle in that, particularly in the third sector in many regards because of the tight corners, but the car still drives very good. And as you can see, after practice we was using the power unit number 2, and we're going to switch back to number 3 now for the more competitive sessions of the weekend, which is qualifying and obviously the race. But jumping into Saturday qualifying, and it's going to be a dry session throughout, and no rain expected for a change, and also no rain in practice, which you might have noticed compared to the last few episodes. There was rain in every single practice session, but finally it's all dry throughout the entire race weekend pretty much. And there's a possibility of rain in the race tomorrow, but we'll have to wait and see how that one pans out. But straight away in Q1 on the slower super soft compound tyres, we go through quite comfortably there in 6th place ahead of our teammate Lewis Hamilton. And then moving into Q2, we've got a small little fault with the car actually, and that's going to hold us back for I think the 3rd race running now we've had a fault with the car in qualifying. So something that the team's going to have to look into there to try and improve that issue into future races. But jumping into Q2 now on the ultra soft compound tyres, fastest in the 1st sector and also fastest in the 2nd sector so far. Sent some very good lap times, and like I said, the car driving very, very well around here, and the ultra soft tyres working very nicely on this Mercedes car. And obviously Hulkenberg is the fastest man right now, so those lap times will drop eventually, but we're still doing a good job here. But then I made a huge mistake and I actually binned it in the wall, so that's going to end our qualifying early, and we're going to start the race on P15, which was not on the cards one bit. Right, so here we are then on the grid for the Singapore Grand Prix, round number 14 of the season, and unfortunately it's P15 on the grid, our worst qualifying since I can't actually remember. It's the first time in ages that we've had a bad qualifying, and we've got a bad grid position. So I'm not really used to this sort of thing, and we're probably going to go way back to like season 2, right at the start, or right at the start of season 1 when the full season was not particularly good, and I got knocked out in Q1, I believe, once or twice. So other than that, I can't think of a bad time where I've had a bad qualifying in this career. So it's very, very much a rarity in my situation, but just a little mistake in qualifying, not paying attention, and clipping the inside wall, losing my left front. So hopefully no more of that today in the race, in the entire 29, I believe, laps of this race, or 30, it might be 31 laps or something like that, I don't know, but it's a very long race either way, and hopefully we can have a good race. In terms of obviously the race strategy and things that we're expecting today, there is actually a heavy rain expected right at the very end of the race. It's going to be dry most of the race throughout, and then right at the end it's going to be a massive downpour. So we've got to be very wary of that, and keep that in mind when it comes to our strategy. So what we're going to do is we're going to modify it here on the fly, and what we're going to do is we're going to switch our second stint from ultras to supers, and hopefully that should see us get to the rain period with no major issues. And if I need it, then I might just switch to a soft compound tyre if necessary. Also, fuel wise, we're going to run a little bit lower on fuel because we don't really need to have a lot of fuel on board for this sort of track, and I'm not planning on using much rich mix. So other than that, let's jump straight into the race, guys. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully we can try and fight our way back into the points, and who knows, maybe into like a top 5 position around one of the most tricky street circuits on the calendar. Right then, here we go. We're going to gear up to the 5 red lights for the Singapore Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. Pretty good reaction to the lights and a great launch off the line here. We're going to pull to the inside, getting the jump on Alonso and also Felipe Massa here, and up the inside of Carlos Sainz, locking up both of the front tyres quite aggressively. It's actually Danny Kvyat, to be fair, my apologies, but we do lock up both fronts quite heavily. I'm going to try and squeeze Massa out, but he's having none of it though. I'm just going to get my nose in front, but Massa's still there holding his line. I'm going to go around the outside of the Brazilian. Can we make it work here side by side with the Williams? We're just going to use our fresher engine to try and power past, And do we get ahead? Yes, we do. And we're going to just about hold it on the inside. But then Massa comes back around my outside, to be fair to him. Massa not letting this position go without a fight. And fair play to him. He's made the move stick. And he's actually made it work. So good stuff from Felipe there. I'm going to try and go up the inside, but Massa's just too good on the brakes just yet. So fair play to him. I'm very surprised he's pulled that one off around a street circuit, which is not a track where the Williams traditionally excels at. But fair play to him. But we're going to have to try and find a way to get past him fairly swiftly here. And also we've got Kvyat and I think a couple of Renaults up the road. So this could be very interesting. We've opted for outside line into here, which is going to be interesting. Can we have any straight line speed to sort of have a run onto Massa into turn 14? Are we going to be close enough? I'm going to have a little look, but not quite. Just too much leeway. He's had too much time to brake there. I was hoping for him to be sort of held up by some of the guys in front on the braking there, but no worries. It's a very long race, this one, so there's no need to rush into any stupid moves. We can pace ourselves quite nicely, and also we've got the rain coming at the end of the race, so that's going to make things very interesting. Right, here we go then, onto the back straight, and one thing I can notice, dirty air is pretty damn noticeable around here. Really struggling to keep the front end biting to the tarmac, and once again I can't get past Massa. Kvyat is struggling early on here, so he's going to be a bit of a sitting duck, I think, and if Massa and myself get DRS once that gets enabled next lap, it could be fairly simple moves, but I just can't get past Felipe at the moment. The dirty air is just sort of sending me wide at every single brake zone and giving me major understeer at the moment. I'm so close to Felipe, literally pushing him through the final corner. This is going to be the one. Felipe goes defensive, actually, so we're going to try and go for the outside line to turn one. Felipe locks up. Is he going to hit me? I don't think he is. I just make the move. A little bit of track extend in there, but I had to take a wider line because I saw Felipe lock up. And now for a second there, I was worried he might go straight into my side pod. Luckily, though, he managed to get the car slowed down, but for a second I was a little bit concerned that it might just be ruining my championship points lead there. But we've got past him, and now DRS is enabled, and we're going to try and make the move on Danny Kvyat here, which should be a bit easier than Massa due to the lack of straight line speed in that Toro Rosso car. Right, into the hairpin, we're going to try and set ourselves up for a nice move here. Lovely little switchback manoeuvre, good traction on the exit, right in the slipstream of Kvyat. We're going to pull to the inside and just get the move up the inside of turn 14 on the brakes, squeeze Kvyat out onto the wall, and there we go, up into the P12. So starting to make some progress now, and up next is both of the Renaults, and it's Palmer actually leading Nico Hulkenberg, quite surprisingly. Here we go then, DRS enabled, and we're going to open up the rear flap. We're pretty damn close to Nico Hulkenberg here, and this should be a fairly simple move on the Renault driver. A little bit tight for space. Hulkenberg's going to give me a good old squeeze here, to be fair to him. We're going to go up the inside, a little bit of contact, a little bit argy-bargy, but we are going to make the move and luckily come out on top. But Hulkenberg giving me a good old squeeze there, and definitely testing my reactions. But we're up in the 11th place, one more position, and we're into the top 10, which is a very good start to this race, and also keeping our nose out of trouble so far. Oh, wow. That was a very, very, very close shave. I just dodged Jolyon Palmer there by the slimmest of margins. I'll probably put it on the slow-mo if I remember to edit it in, but that was so flipping close. Oh my goodness, that could have easily been like a front left tyre off again for the second day running. That was so close, but what a great reaction to that Jolyon Palmer breaking down. I still can't believe I've done that. Absolutely incredible. Okay, here we go then, on to lap number 8. I'm all over the back of Grosjean, but this Haas has very good straight line speed here, and he's trying to make a move on Carlos Sainz. I'm going to stick my nose into turn 1, but I just can't get it on the brakes. Grosjean just about manages to match me and leaves me minimal room on the inside, but we're going to try and get past him again here. He's got some very good pace, to be fair, and like I said, that Haas in a straight line is actually not that bad. Like, I'm struggling to get past. Also, because he's got DRS on Sainz, it's making it twice as hard as what it should be, but hopefully I can get past him too soon. I'm not going to get very frustrated because I don't think I'm going to pit when I was scheduled to pit, because the tyre wear is way better than what the recommended strategy suggested. So because I'm only floating around 20%, I reckon I've got loads of laps left in these tyres still. So we can probably just stay out and let everyone in front of us pit, basically. But I do want to try and pass these guys as soon as possible anyway. Okay, we're going to try and go for the same move again here on Grosjean. This time on the brakes, a little bit later than last time. We're going to go up the inside. I'm going to leave him the room because he's still there on my outside. But we're side by side with the Frenchman. He's still holding on my outside, but we're just going to squeeze him out there and close the door on him. And there we go. We've made the move up into P9, and we should still have DRS on Sainz, so that should hopefully allow us to stay in front of the Frenchman onto this straight. So now let's try and get past the Toro Rosso driver and then get into some clean air and try and set some good lap times, hopefully, and just try and hunt down the leaders. Obviously, Raikkonen's leading the way, so keeping that in mind, at the moment on paper, unless the rain does me a massive favour, it's looking like P2 at best this race, which still will be an incredible result, but I think I can get that if I play my cards right. I mean, it's still a long way away, and there's a long way to go in this race, but I think I can get that result if I play my cards. So we've got to be very wise about this. Into the final corner here, and Sainz won't have DRS like Grosjean did, so here we go. We're going to pull alongside, and this will be a far more comfortable move than we did on the Frenchman. And there we go, up the inside of turn 1, just getting it slowed down there, and there we go, nice easy move into P5 as we've got a few people in the pit lane, and I believe one of them was Kimi Raikkonen. So overall now we've got a bit of clean air, so we've got to put these tyres to use and also use this clean air to try and set a few personal bests if we've still got the tyres left. So let's crack on now and push. Well, look who's behind us already, Mr. Kimi Raikkonen, a whole pit stop ahead of us. But either way, we're going to come in this lap for our super soft compound tyres, and the rain is about 15 minutes away. I just got a radio message, but because it's so far away, I'm not going to make these tyres last. And also, just in case if it goes wrong, and it maybe is like an extended to 15 minutes, which does happen sometimes in this game, just for precaution, I'm going to go onto these super soft tyres, and that way if the rain does get delayed by another 5 minutes or whatever, just to make sure I don't run out of tyres and I'm comfortable, I can be on the super softs and not have any issues. So that's just mainly a precaution. I think my pace will be okay on these anyway. We're going to rejoin some clean air just in front of Carlos Sainz, who we was in front of in the last in, unless I mess up this pit exit. I'm just going to make sure I rejoin ahead of Carlos, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So we're going to be in clean air, so we're going to have a few laps. I've got a little bit of fuel saved up, 0.2 to be exact, so I might have like I might have one full lap in rich mix in there to maybe use. But basically we got to push on these tyres now, and we haven't got to hold back because the rain's going to arrive, so we can basically use these a lot. So let's push. Raikkonen set the pace with the 1 minute 40.3. That's 2.5 faster almost than my best lap. There we go, rain 15 minutes, so it's been delayed by like a little 5 minutes because I got that message about 5 minutes ago. So my point was proven that the rain is going to get delayed a little bit. It does happen sometimes, so luckily it was a good call to go on this tyre and not rush onto the ultra soft. But we just got to push hard now. Raikkonen did a 40.3, so we got the benchmark. He is on ultra softs to be fair, so it's going to be hard for me to match, but I'm going to try my hardest. Oh, safety car. Safety car deployed, and we are right back in this race thanks to that. That is huge. Safety car deployed. I don't know what happened. I know Sainz had problems with his car, but whether that's due to him and triggering that safety car, I don't know. But he has dropped out of P8 and Hulkenberg has taken his position. But safety car deployed. That is massive for this race, and that's blown it wide open. Okay, so the safety car is in this lap. Rain is also less than 5 minutes away, so this is going to get very, very interesting, and the rain could come at any second. So this restart is going to be absolutely frantic. It's anyone's game. Ferrari 1-2. Let's try and hunt them down. Severe understeer though, straight away from the dirty air into the final corner, and we might be under threat from Hulkenberg behind, who's trying to make a move. Felipe Massa also going up the inside of the Renault driver here. We're just going to hold it and hold on to our position. A pretty poor restart from me. But now it's a question of trying to keep a cool head, take it easy, and now be ready for whenever the rain arrives. If we call the strategy right, we could jump everybody in front of us. This is how big this call is going to be, so we've got to be absolutely precise with it. Oh, yellow flag up ahead. Someone's had an issue, and someone's going slowly, I think, and someone's pulled over. I think it's a Ferrari. I think it's Raikkonen. Raikkonen out of the Singapore Grand Prix. Massive for the championship. That is huge because I can now take it easy because Raikkonen is out of the race. So that is a big hammer blow for the championship. Ferrari struggle once again with reliability, and the Ferrari lets Raikkonen down at a critical time once again. So they will not be happy with that, but Raikkonen out of the Singapore Grand Prix, and we're now up into 7th place. So this has really blown the race wide open now. So who's going to win it here at Singapore? Okay, the rain has arrived here at Singapore, and it's all going to get a bit wild now. And we've got cars in the pit lane coming in for dry tyres, including Lewis Hamilton. Oh, he's throwing the race away again. I don't know what to say anymore. These guys are throwing away so many unnecessary points. They're literally handing it to me on a silver platter. I think Vettel is not going to come in. I think he's on course to win this race if he gets the strategy call over to Wets correct, because he's pulled up a massive gap at the front, and he's on, I believe, on super softs or soft. So he's on a much longer lasting tyre. But I mean, we're up into 4th place now, and things are looking very, very comfortable at the moment. Okay, we're going to come in this up for intermediates. The rain's coming down pretty damn heavy actually, and the track's getting wet pretty quickly. So we're going to come in and respond to the conditions. Ocon's in as well. The question is he coming in for dries or wets? We'll have to see, but let's try and make this the right call. On the radio now, I was recommended to come in for intermediates, and now on the radio they're telling me the track's not wet enough, the tyres are going to burn out. So it's sort of on the knife edge at the moment, but I mean, I'd much rather, I think I'm going on the right tyre compared to what Ocon's doing in front of me. So we're going to go on to the inters now. It might be a little bit slippy at first. I don't think that the conditions are optimal for inters just yet, but it shouldn't take too long. Heavy rain is less than 10 minutes away, so this is going to get pretty wet pretty quick, actually, I think. Okay, DRS has just been disabled, and now the AI are coming in for intermediate. So now it's going to be a massive rush in the pit lane, and everyone's going to switch over to the green wall intermediates. The question is, has everybody pit? Because I think Ricciardo and Vettel, who are the two leaders, have not pit for inters yet, and I think they're going for one more lap. Okay, but right on the back of Ocon now. He's going very slowly on those dry compound tyres, and he's been hung out to dry strategy-wise by his team. We're just going to fly past on the inters and make the move nice and easily there. And now we're going to see Ricciardo's on inters, so I'm guessing that's him just in front there. But has Vettel come in for inters, or has he made the mistake and stayed out for one lap on dries? I guess we'll probably won't find out unless he's actually been in the pit lane this lap. So from what I can tell, it looks like he's still in the lead on inters. So Vettel also comfortably holding the lead of the race. And there you go, I can see him now on the mini-map, and that's definitely Vettel on intermediate. So it looks like at the moment the best thing we do this race is P3 as Verstappen retires, and again for the third race running. That car is unlucky, and it's not even technically the RB13 as we are in season 4, but you know, it is also the RB13 at the same time. So Verstappen can't catch a break, very unlucky. We're down to 16 runners in this race now, and just over 8 laps to go, and there's probably a switch to full wets on the cards very soon. Okay, it's definitely now heavy rain conditions, but apparently the track's going to drop in like 10 minutes, so it's probably not really worth going on the full wets. The pace still feels good in this tyre, and also I'm now lapping faster than Ricciardo. I don't know if I'll catch him, but I'm trying my hardest. I might be on the back of him by the last lap of the race. The track feels absolutely horrible. The rain is coming down so much, and the inters can't actually handle this amount of water, but I don't know if it's worth coming in now for what's left in this race. I'm still catching Ricciardo, so is it worth me switching over? I don't know, because apparently the rain's going to drop in less than 10 minutes. So I think I'm just going to stick it out, but the conditions are horrible now. Right, through the final couple of corners, and it's no use. Sebastian Vettel wins at Singapore, and we're going to come home in P3. I tried my hardest to catch Ricciardo, but it just wasn't to be. And I needed to put in one more lap, I reckon, or 2 more laps, but it was going to be tough to catch Ricciardo. My pace felt good, and I really tried hard, but there was just no way it was going to happen. And unfortunately, Ricciardo holds on to second place just about. I wish at the start of the stint I'd had more pace, because right at the start of the stint, the first 5 laps or so, Ricciardo was actually lapping faster than me. So if I'd started on the front foot, which I struggled to do, it took me a few laps to get going on the intermediates. If I'd started strong, I could have definitely finished ahead of him. But either way, Sebastian Vettel picks up a first win of the season, if not a second, maybe a third, but the first one in a long time. I think since Spain or something like that. You guys might know in the comments down below. Let me know in the comments. But a first win in a long time for the German there. Top step in the podium around Singapore. Ferrari were untouchable this weekend. You know, Raikkonen and Vettel were in a league of their own. They brought an ultimate upgrade for this race, and you can really notice it just improved their pace massively. They were really fast around here, but hopefully the next race at Malaysia will suit us better. But overall, we're now going to move into the final race results, drivers and constructor standings after that crazy race. Right, so looking at the final race results, and we come home in P3. Sebastian Vettel wins the Singapore Grand Prix from pole position, converting said pole into a race win, and Ricciardo gets second place for Red Bull. Very good result for him there. Danny Kvyat, P4 in Toro Rosso, incredible result, and making the 2-stop strategy work out. Hamilton on a 3-stop, recovering to 5th place, so very good job from him there. And Romain Grosjean also scoring good points for Haas there. Perez and Ocon for Force India, double points finish, and Massa and Alonso round out the top 10. But further down the order in the big list of retirements, Jolyon Palmer, Carlos Sainz, Kimi Raikkonen, Max Verstappen and Nico Hülkenberg all retiring from this race. Now, in terms of the driver standings after that race, we are 36 points clear of Kimi Raikkonen in the Drivers' Championship. Lewis Hamilton 76 points adrift, and Sebastian Vettel 1 point behind my teammate, and Perez actually dropped quite a few points this race after Vettel won the race. So Vettel re-overtakes the Mexican there and retakes 4th place. But then in the Constructors final, you can see that we are are 37 points ahead, so we extend our lead over, I think, 1 point over Ferrari this race. So overall, a positive race and a lot of points gained for us in what was a pretty worrying position at one point, with us being in P8 and Raikkonen actually leading the Grand Prix. But we're now going to move into the laptop and see if we purchase a possible upgrade. Right, so looking at the upgrade screen, and we're sat here on the aerodynamics, and I think I'm going to purchase this one here for a front wing upgrade. So this should arrive for the next race, fingers crossed, and there shouldn't be any major issues. We've got 3 department quality control upgrades on here, so the chances of it failing are lower than normal. So that should arrive for the Malaysian Grand Prix, and then after that we're going to try and get the rear wing, hopefully for maybe the last 3-4 races of the season. But hopefully the front wing will arrive in the next race. Touch wood, it does not fail on us, and we can improve in the aero, which we are starting to drop off a little bit compared to Red Bull and Ferrari. But other than that, guys, just a massive thank you for supporting the series, and a massive thank you for watching this video. And if you did enjoy it, then please do leave a like on the video. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of the videos, and what you think I could possibly do to improve them in the future. And also do check out the videos on the screen right now, and also have a look at GT Omega in the links down below in the description. Use the code Tom87 for a 5% discount at checkout. But other than that, guys, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.